are finally here. The day that you've been waiting for, decorating your gingerbread house's day. As you can probably imagine, I'm not actually in December like you are. It's currently October, it's warm outside, but this morning, God gave me a miracle. He gave me a little bit of a stuffy nose, and so now I'm drinking my lemon hot tea, and I feel like it's kind of winter. I feel like I'm able to enjoy the season with you. I'm so excited. I feel like I'm right here in December with y'all. Let's get started. Baking our gingerbread houses. I had told you that I would let you know how long it took for them to dry out. The good thing about this gingerbread recipe is that it creates really soft gingerbread cookies, which is so good. But the bad thing is that it takes a long time to dry out. So when you make your gingerbread houses, you want to prep this a week or two in advance because you want to give yourself time. But one thing that was helpful for me was I was just leaving this on the counter for like a week straight to see if it would dry out, and it barely dried out because this gingerbread recipe is so good. So what I want you to do is, after you bake the actual gingerbread houses and after you recut them out the second time after they're baked, I want you to go ahead and put that back in the oven on a super low temperature and just leave it in there until it's hard. My oven is not one of your standard, turn the knob ovens. It's one of those like electric ones that you like push in the temperature. So the lowest it would go was like 175. So I just put it on 175 and I put it in there for like an hour, and I checked it every like 20 minutes. Go ahead and do that, and when it's all said and done, you'll have hard gingerbread pieces. And then wait for it to cool and get to decorating. That's where we'll begin. Go ahead and grab your royal icing and your board that I gave you in your baking box. Now this is super easy to make. This is not what I typically do, but this is a really easy royal icing mix. I buy this at Jane's Cakes. It's in La Cañada. It's my favorite baking shop. That's another little tip for you. It is like heaven for a baker. You can get whatever you want there. Basically, the instructions for this is to mix this with 5 tablespoons of water. That's what we're gonna do. Now with royal icing, you don't want to add all of the water at once because sometimes you want it thicker, sometimes you want it thinner. So I would do a tablespoon at a time. We're gonna start with 4 tablespoons. Did you know that a quarter cup is 4 tablespoons? Now you do. So as you can see, this was 4 tablespoons. It's still super hard. So we're going to add 1 more tablespoon. There we go. Perfect. You want to do it until it's thick enough but not runny, so it can stick on your finger, and that means that it's done. Now at this point, you want to work relatively quickly because royal icing, it does not do very well when it's exposed to air. So if you are really stressed about working in the kitchen and you're worried that you're gonna wait too long and the frosting is gonna harden out, just go grab a kitchen towel and get it wet and put it over your bowl. That will keep your frosting from hardening, because that's what royal icing does. It hardens when it's exposed to air, which is why we love it. But if you're not prepared, it will harden up on you too quickly and you won't be able to use it. I'm just mixing up some of the pieces that may not have quite mixed well, and we're gonna put this in our piping bag. Grab your piping bag. Don't cut it yet. I want you to fold the top out a little bit to make like a cuff. You can hold the bag right underneath like that. You want to put your royal icing in your bag. And because we folded over the top, That means that the icing won't get to the very edge of the bag, which is preferable. And this icing is super thick, which is exactly what we want when making a gingerbread house, because icing is like glue. This is the glue that's gonna keep your house together. And if the glue isn't thick enough, guess what's gonna happen to your house? It's gonna fall apart. Grab the edges and just let the icing slide down a little bit. Basically, you want to squeeze the royal icing down the bag just a little bit, just so you can hold on to it. And at this point, we're gonna cut the tip of the bag just to get some airflow so we can squish the rest of the icing down. I don't want you to cut your bag too much because you can always cut it larger, but you can't cut it smaller. So just cut a little bit, the base there. Grab your bag. You see how I've gathered it here? Grab it like that and just twist it. Okay? See all of the frosting coming down? When you hold a piping bag, you want to make sure you've twisted it here at the top and hold it in between your thumb and your index finger, and then grab the rest of the bag with your hand. That is the proper technique of holding a piping bag. When you do pipe, you want to squeeze from the top here. You don't want to squeeze from the bottom because that will squeeze your icing out the top. Don't do that. If you really want to, you can grab a rubber band and put it around here to help you. Other than that, let's get to it. So first I want us to do a little bit of practice with our piping bags. Go ahead and grab a towel, grab your piping bag. See how I've twisted it and I hold it like this. And just go ahead and try and squeeze out your icing, okay? See if you can do that and try to do a little circle. The trick with piping is that you want to squeeze, let the icing fall in a straight line, and then let it go. So you squeeze, and when you're done, you squeeze again and let it go. Great, good practice. Let's get to our actual house. First, I want you to familiarize yourself with how your gingerbread house is going to look. So you want to do a mock setup here and just visualize where it's gonna go. Maybe you want to put your house at an angle like this, so you can have a lovely front yard and a path coming out of your front door. It's up to you. Or you can go like this. Whatever floats your boat. Let's see, do we want to do a diagonal? I think we might want to do the diagonal. Yeah, let's do that, you guys. This step is probably going to be one of the harder steps. We want to put the sides of the house together first. Pipe a piece along both sides right here. You want to give yourself enough frosting here. Plop those guys on. On this one, we're going to do the same thing. A good amount of frosting. Let those guys hold together real nicely. There you go. And just hold that in place. That looks great. That's looking good, you guys. Good job! Woo! Nerve-wracking. Let's secure the actual bottom of the house. So I'm piping on the bottom of the house just to make sure that it's secured in its spot. You want to make sure to hold this really carefully because it will tip over. Be very gentle and place place it wherever you want it to live on your board. So it's gonna live here. Just press it down gently. There we go. That looks nice. Next step is going to be the roof. Pipe all along the sides of your house right here. Doesn't have to be pretty. Actually, the more icing, the better here, you guys. And we're gonna place this on. Just hold it there for a second and see if it slides down. If it slides down, we're gonna give it a little bit of a help. I'll show you a little trick. Go grab yourself a couple of cans from your pantry and let them sit here so your roof doesn't fall down. We're gonna do this side now. If you mess up, don't worry about it. We can fix it. So you want your roof to meet up here. It might not be perfect, you guys, but hey, we're making gingerbread houses from scratch. Who can say that? So what I really want you to do is to make sure you put some icing in the middle part right here, because this is the part that needs to stick together. There we go. We're gonna put our cans here just to keep everything together. Good job, everyone. Doing great. One of the next parts is going to be our roof. So I'll show you how to do that. The roof is super cute. It's basically going to stand up like this. And we'll put the other parts on it too. Grab the long rectangular piece that looks like this and put it upside down. And then we are going to grab one of your diagonal looking pieces. This is the outside, so we're going to pipe on this long part of it. Place it onto this guy. And the thing that you want to line up is the top of the chimney, which is going to be this, not the diagonal part. So let that sit, and we're going to do the same thing. So this is the outside. We want to pipe here. Great. For this one, this is the outside, so we're going to flip it over and we're going to pipe on both of these sides, both of the long sides. And just help this form correctly. There we go. That looks good. Oh, this is so exciting. Here is your chimney, and we're going to place this on the house. Now, where do we want to put this on the house? You could put it here. Oh, that looks like a good spot right there. What do you think? I think so. It's up to your discretion, however you want to do it. Pipe on all sides of this. And place it wherever you want it to live. There you go. Look at that, we have a chimney. We have a chimney, people. Good work. If you can feel, these are already starting to harden, which is a good sign. It means that the royal icing is working. All right, here we are. The hard part is over. I applaud you. Oh man, that was nerve-wracking, wasn't it? Putting that gingerbread house together. But you know what? If it fell apart, just try again. And if your icing is too thick, maybe put it back in your bowl and just put a little bit more water in it and just try again. Now comes the most fun part. We're gonna decorate. You could grab a knife if you would like. If you have an offset spatula, that is wonderful for some parts, especially the roof right here. If you don't, a regular knife will work just fine. Let's go ahead and decorate our roof. I think we're okay to remove our cans. Yep, we're good. Oh yeah, we're solid. What I want to do for the roof is I want to add these snow caps. Let me eat one. I want to do snow caps all along the roof to make it look like a roof that has snow on it. Isn't that cute? You can do whatever you want here. The sky's the limit, but I'm gonna kind of give you a few techniques of what I want to do. When you do a roof, you want to start at the bottom and work your way up with any candy that you choose. Start at the bottom, just do a little row here and start placing your candy along the bottom. Now hopefully I have enough. I did eat a few of these, but I don't think eating 3 is going to matter, right? Oh my gosh, this is so fun. This is like my childhood dream come true. Now, do another layer. And you want to make sure to overlap them so it looks like shingles on an actual roof. Now something that I'm noticing here, you want to put the icing closer to the snow caps. That way, and you'll figure it out, whatever candy you're using, you'll get a feel for what is working and what's not working. I'm doing an extra thick layer of icing just to keep it tight. Oh, that's looking really good so far. Oh yes! Ah! Now this is what I've been wanting to do for so long. Ever since I had this idea, I wanted to make this snow cap roof. Now it might be tempting to kind of go crazy and put icing on the whole roof. Don't do that. I know you want to, but if you do that, the icing will harden and you won't be able to put anything on it. So just do one row at a time. Here we go. I'm going to finish the roof. You finish your roof and then we'll reconvene in a few minutes. Roof completely done. If you'll take a look, it looks like a snow cap roof. Oh, I love it so much. Oh, I think what I want to do next is create the landscape, because sometimes just a classic gingerbread house will look great if you have a great landscape. I have some coconut. I'm gonna pour a bunch of icing on the board and just cover it with coconut flakes. And we're gonna do a little path and maybe some trees if we're lucky. Let's go ahead and do that. For this part, I am working kind of fast because, as I've told you already, royal icing will harden quickly. If you want to do this technique, grab a knife and spread your royal icing all around your baseboard, right to the edge and right to the house. We're only doing half of the board right now, so we can sprinkle it and then do the next half because we do want the coconut flakes to stick. Just press them down ever so gently. That looks wonderful. Now we're going to do the second half. And if you need to, you can create a larger hole at the bottom of your bag. It's totally up to you. I did end up cutting a larger hole in my bag when I was doing the roof because the frosting was a little too thick for my liking, which is good. You need it to be thick, but for piping, it was almost starting to rip my bag, which is not what we want. So if you feel like it's starting to rip your bag, you're gonna wanna cut the hole a little more. And if you're doing a snow cap roof, I think it only makes sense to do snow on the floor. I mean, you could do whatever you want, but in my head, why would there be snow on the roof but not on the floor? And it's gonna just be a winter wonderland right here. Ah! I love this. Good work. So now we have our snow on the floor. You can use whatever candies you want to make the path along the front. I'm gonna use, we have, ooh, are these Werther's? Oh, we're gonna use these for sure. I just love Werther's. I feel like I'm an old-timey person. Would you like a butterscotch candy? Yeah, gotta have some butterscotch candies in my gingerbread house. Now I'm gonna put my door on. Just put some icing on the bottom of the door and on the side as well. So there is our front door and our stones leading up to the front door and our landscape. Now I'm going to show you a technique that I really love. It's called whitewashing, and you can do this for all the walls of your house. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to get our icing and we're going to water it down a little bit so we can paint the walls of the house. Pour some icing into a bowl here. Doesn't have to be all your icing, just a good amount. Add a little bit of water to that. Stir that up. You want it to be watery, but not too watery that it will just slide off of your house. I'm going to test this on the back of the house because it's less important. So if you have a brush for your kitchen, you want to grab that, or buy a brush at the store and keep it designated for your kitchen. Let me just test this to see if this is going to work. Always test on something that you're not going to want to be shown. Okay, so this is working. Good news, everyone. Once you've tested this technique on the back of your house, wait a few seconds, maybe around a minute, to see what the icing does. If it is sliding down too much, then add some more of your royal icing and try again, just to get it to whatever look you're wanting on your gingerbread house. So our whitewashing icing is ready now. So basically just grab your brush and dip it into your icing. Start brushing it onto your gingerbread house. And this is cool too because this will show you what different techniques look like. You don't have to do all of these different techniques, but it's nice to know what things are going to look like for your gingerbread house, so you don't have to do all of the different, trial runs. You'll say, oh, that looks really neat for my house, I'm going to do that. And you don't have to really waste time on finding what works best for you. I just love this technique. It looks so classy. I want to get all of the crannies in here. Personally, I would recommend to do one coat of this, see what it looks like, and then if you want to, you can do a second coat, but just wait till the first coat dries. Now that you've whitewashed all of the walls, I want you to cover this bowl with a wet cloth because we might want to do a second coat later. It is looking so good, you guys. It's looking so good. There's a few more things that I would like to do to this house. I'm going to do a second coat of this whitewash technique. There we go, that's looking nice. Wow, what a difference that second coat makes, huh? That looks great. Next, I I would like to show you how to create snow that is coming off of the roof. So like icicles. Now when you do your icicles, you want to start at the very tip of the roof. And you want to squeeze your piping bag and then stop squeezing and bring it up, creating an icicle. And you just keep doing that. Squeeze, stop squeezing, bring it up. Squeeze, bring it up. Squeeze, bring it up. That way, it kind of covers that piece of gingerbread that we had on the side. So I'm going to do this side now. If you mess up, just go back and fix it. There you go. And those are your icicles. Good job. We're almost done. As you can see, I have added a Smartie to the door to make a little door handle for our gingerbread house here, which I love. And I've been doing some thinking about what other candy I want to use. You can go all out. You can use whatever candy you want. I have gumdrops here. You can put those on the roof. You can use gumdrops as little bushes here in the front. That would look super cute. For my gingerbread house though, I really want it to be plain and simple. So I'm not going to be using the gumdrops. I will have that Smartie as the door handle. I do want to show you how to create smoke for your chimney here. What we're going to do is grab one of these wrappers that I had and lay it out. Just going to pipe a little bit of what I think smoke should look like. Maybe do a couple of different options. Just in case one breaks or just in case one doesn't look the way you want it to. So the idea here is that these will harden and you'll be able to put this on top of the chimney and it's going to look really great, you guys. So maybe one more option. And we're doing it on these wrappers so they'll come off easily. There we go. I think I like that one the best. This is the one that I kind of like the best. We're going to wait for that to dry and then we can pipe it onto our gingerbread house. This is the last step. I have the piece of smoke. I'm just going to attach it to the chimney by putting some royal icing on it. And there you have it. That's it. It's all done. Thank you so much for being a part of Beth's Baking Box, and I hope you enjoyed all of these baking projects. I hope it gave you the chance to spend time with your loved ones and be less stressed in the kitchen. Enjoy your holiday season, and this gingerbread house can be displayed the entire season, so there's no need to refrigerate it. You're not really going to eat it, you're just going to admire it. So thanks again. I will see you next month for the winter subscription box. Can't wait to show you what's going to be in that. Stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.